Hello, in this video we're going to look at the instantaneous rate of change for a function 2x squared minus x plus 8 at the point x equal 3. The instantaneous rate of change is the limit as h approaches 0 of what we call the difference quotient, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Now you can do this in pieces or you can do it all together. I'm going to go ahead and do it in pieces first. So the first thing we need to do is find f of our x value is 3, so we need to find f of 3 plus h. That means we're going to plug in 3 plus h everywhere we see an x in our function. So we'll get 2 times 3 plus h squared minus 3 plus h plus 8. And we need to expand this. Now, if you're not familiar with the binomial expansion, if we have a plus b squared, that is always going to expand to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. You can write it as a plus b times a plus b and multiply it out that way, or you can memorize that formula and saves you a little bit of a step. Alright, so if we expand that, we still need to multiply all this by 2 when we get done, because the order of operations says we have to do that exponent first. But if we plug into that binomial expansion, 3 plus h quantity squared is going to be 3 squared, or 9, plus 2 times 3 times h, 6h, plus h squared. And then we can go ahead and distribute the negative to that second set of parentheses, so we'll get minus 3 minus h plus 8, and now we can distribute our 2. So we'll get 18 plus 12h plus 2h squared, and then I'm going to go ahead and do minus h there, and then combine like terms, negative 3 and 8 is 5. And if we combine like terms even further, we get 2h squared plus 11h plus 23, and that's going to plug in for our first piece there. And then f of x, in this case f of 3, is going to be 2 times 3 squared minus 3 plus 8. And if we simplify that, 3 squared is 9, times 2 is 18, minus 3 is 15, plus 8 is 23. And it should work out that those numbers are the same. Alright, so if we plug in to our difference quotient, so our f of 3 plus h minus f of 3 all over h is going to be 2h squared plus 11h plus 23. That's our first piece. Our minus f of 3 will get minus 23 all over h, and it should always work out that those will add to 0, leaving everything else with an h. So we can factor an h out of that numerator. We get 2h plus 11 over h, and divide both of those top and bottom by h, and our difference quotient is 2h plus 11. Now the only thing we have left to do is take the limit as h approaches 0. So the limit as h approaches 0 of 2h plus 11 is going to be 2 times 0 plus 11, or 11. So our instantaneous rate of change for this function at x equal 3 is going to be 11. That also will help you find the derivative and the slope of the tangent line, because what that's giving us is the slope of the curve at that point. All right, let's do another point, or another function. Let's do the same thing for f of x equals x cubed minus 8 at the point x equal 1. This one I'm going to go ahead and put it all together. So we're going to have the limit as h approaches 0 of 1 plus h cubed minus 8 minus 1 cubed minus 8 all over h. Now again, there's a binomial expansion for a cube. If you have a binomial cubed, that will always expand to the first number cubed plus 3 times the first one squared times the second, plus 3 times the first times the second squared, plus the last one cubed. So if we plug that in here, we're going to have the limit as h approaches 0. 1 plus h cubed, if we plug it in here, our a is 1 and our b is h. We're going to get 1 plus 3h plus 3h squared plus h cubed, and then we'll get minus 8. And then inside the parentheses here, 1 minus 8 is negative 7, but we're going to subtract it. So minus a negative 7 is going to be plus 7 all over h. And then just like we saw last time, all of our constants are going to add to 0, and everything left will have an h. So if we factor out that h, we get 3 plus 3h plus h squared all over h. We can divide out h from the top and the bottom, and we're left with 3 plus 3h plus h squared. And when we take the limit of that as h approaches 0, we get 3 plus 3 times 0 plus 0 squared, and that simplifies to 3. So just like I said earlier, that's giving us the instantaneous rate of change, the slope of the derivative, the slope of the function, or the slope of the tangent line. All right, I'll see you guys next time.